Have you ever noticed how the twin flame journey has a way of pulling up wounds you thought you had buried long ago? Suddenly, fears of abandonment rise to the surface. Old patterns of rejection, insecurity, or unworthiness play out in the relationship like they never left. This isn't coincidence. It's design. Because one of the deepest purposes of the twin flame connection is to heal your inner child, that tender part of you that still holds the emotions, fears, and unmet needs from your earliest years. If you've ever found yourself asking, why does this connection make me feel so vulnerable? Why does it trigger me like nothing else? The answer is this. Your twin flame is awakening the child within, not to wound it again but to help you finally heal. In part 1 we'll explore what the inner child really is, how twin flames awaken your inner child, the common wounds that rise in the connection, why these wounds must surface before union can stabilize. In part 2 we'll go into practical tools for healing the inner child, the role of forgiveness and self-compassion, how healing your inner child transforms the twin flame dynamic, and how this healing ripples outward into collective transformation. So let's begin at the root. What exactly is the inner child? Part 1. What is the inner child? The inner child is not a literal child. It's a psychological and spiritual concept. It represents the part of you that still holds the memories, emotions, and beliefs formed in childhood. Traits of the inner child. Playful and curious, it carries your sense of wonder. Vulnerable and tender, it holds your deepest needs for safety and love. Injured and scared, if your needs weren't met, it still carries those wounds. Every adult carries an inner child. Some parts of it are joyful, but other parts are wounded. And unless those wounds are healed, they show up in your adult relationships, especially in the intensity of the twin flame connection. Part 2. How twin flames awaken the inner child. Most relationships touch your adult self. Twin flames touch your soul, and with that they activate the deepest layers of your psyche. When you meet your twin flame, it feels like home. That's because your inner child recognizes them instantly. For the first time, the child within feels truly seen. But along with comfort comes exposure. The inner child also brings out its fears. Will you abandon me like before? Am I worthy of being loved? What if you reject me? This is why the twin flame connection can feel both blissful and terrifying. It's not just two adults interacting. It's two inner children meeting, mirroring, and crying out for healing. Part 3. Common inner child wounds. In twin flame connections. 1. Fear of abandonment. If your parents were absent, physically or emotionally, you may carry a deep fear of being left. When your twin pulls away, that wound flares violently. 2. Fear of rejection. Children who were criticized or shamed often grow up terrified of rejection. A single cold word from your twin can feel like devastation. 3. Unworthiness. If love was conditional in childhood based on grades, behavior, or achievement, you may believe you are not enough. The twin flame connection forces this wound into the open. 4. Fear of intimacy. Ironically, if you longed for love but were hurt by it, your inner child may resist closeness. Even when you want union, part of you runs from it. 5. Guilt and shame. Children who grew up in toxic households often carry shame that doesn't belong to them. This shame surfaces when your twin reflects your hidden pain. Part 4. Why these wounds must surface. It's natural to ask, why can't I just enjoy the connection? Why must all these wounds be triggered? The answer is simple. Because union cannot stabilize on wounded foundations. The inner child holds the keys to your deepest patterns. If those patterns remain unhealed, they sabotage intimacy. They create cycles of running, chasing, clinging, or withdrawing. Your twin flame awakens these wounds not to hurt you, but to bring them into light. Once seen, they can finally be healed. Think of it like this. The inner child is the locked room in your soul. Your twin flame is the one with the key. When the door opens, your connection with your twin flame shifts dramatically. Less reactivity. Instead of panicking when your twin pulls away, you soothe your inner child. You are safe. You are not being abandoned. This calms the chase-run cycle. Greater balance. As you heal, you no longer seek your twin to fill your emptiness. You come to them whole, balanced, and ready to love without neediness. Deeper intimacy. When the inner child feels safe, it opens the door to authentic vulnerability. Instead of pushing love away, you allow yourself to receive it. Example. One woman shared, "When I stopped waiting for him to soothe my abandonment wound and started soothing it myself, everything changed. I stopped chasing. I started glowing. And ironically, that's when he came back." Part 8. Inner Child Healing as Ancestral and Collective Healing. Here's the deeper truth. When you heal your inner child, you don't just heal yourself. You heal generations. Ancestral healing. The wounds you carry, abandonment, rejection, scarcity, often come from your bloodline. By nurturing your inner child, you stop the cycle. You become the ancestor who changes the story. Collective healing. Every healed inner child adds to the healing of humanity. Imagine a world where more people felt safe, loved, and worthy. That's the ripple your healing creates. This is why the twin flame journey is not selfish. Your healing is part of the collective shift toward love. Part 9. Signs your inner child is healing. How do you know if the work is taking root? Look for these signs. Emotional regulation. You no longer spiral into panic when your twin goes silent. You self-soothe with compassion. Healthy boundaries. You can say no without guilt and yes without fear. Increase joy. You find yourself laughing, playing, and enjoying life again. Not just waiting for your twin. Self-validation. You stop seeking constant external validation. You affirm your own worth. Compassion for others. As you heal your inner child, you naturally soften toward others, recognizing their wounds too. Part 10. The twin flame journey as reparenting. Ultimately, healing your inner child through the twin flame connection is about reparenting yourself. Your twin doesn't heal you. They awaken what needs healing. The rest is your sacred responsibility. Reparenting means becoming the loving, nurturing presence your younger self always needed. It means holding your own hand through the fear, the tears, and the loneliness. When you do this, something extraordinary happens. You no longer wait for your twin to come fix you. You rise into union with yourself. And from that wholeness, union with your twin becomes possible. Conclusion: a journey back to innocence. So what is the true gift of the twin flame connection when it comes to the inner child? It is the invitation to return to innocence, to shed the wounds of. Have you ever noticed how the twin flame journey has a way of pulling up wounds you thought you had buried long ago? Suddenly, fears of abandonment rise to the surface. Old patterns of rejection,